What did you ask him about the Kennedy assassination?
His perception of it.
What did he have to say?
Couldn't shut him up for 20 minutes. He said it was an inside job. He said Oswald couldn't make the shots. You know that as well as I do. He said, I had nothing to do with it. He said, do I look suicidal to you? He said, I love my country. He said, if I killed John Kennedy, the United States would have wiped Cuba off the earth. I'm not suicidal. He didn't have anything to do with it. And he's correct. Oswald couldn't make the shots and it was an inside job.
What do you think happened?
I think we killed our president. I think a coup d'etat took place. Had John Kennedy lived, there would have been no Vietnam War. Imagine that. Imagine now that alone would have changed history. Kennedy had already ordered the first 1,000 advisors out, and he said that when he was elected, he would pull us completely out of Vietnam after he was reelected. Well, they made sure that he wasn't reelected. And LBJ, here's your example. When LBJ became president, the first meeting he had with Kennedy's cabinet the next day in Washington, you know what the topic was? It wasn't the State of the Union. It wasn't the economy. His first meeting as president, LBJ, was about the Vietnam War. That wasn't a war yet. What should that say to you? Your first meeting is going to be the highest priority.
Right.
The war that wasn't a war yet, and then Johnson a week later rescinded Kennedy's withdrawal and committed more troops. John Kennedy was killed because he wouldn't go to war.
And you've done specials on this before. I know it interests you greatly.
Well, I've read every book on it.
You say it was an inside job. What do you believe actually happened?
I believe that we can't tell you who pulled triggers because it's been so long, but the Warren Commission's a farce. That's been proven. So there were two conspiracies that took place, the one to actually kill John Kennedy and then the one to cover it up afterward. And you're just as guilty if you take part in either one. And so our government, I believe he was killed because he already had detente. It's come out now through a book called JFK and the Unspeakable. It was discovered in the Vatican. Kennedy and Khrushchev were back channel communicating that their governments didn't even know it. And both of them had agreed they were going to end the Cold War by '65. Imagine what the world would be. And what happened? Kennedy was killed. They were doing it through Pope John. He died of cancer. And Khrushchev a coup d'etat happened in Russia. And Khrushchev was taken out of office because there were people that wanted the Cold War. And what did we get substantially? 20 more years of it.
How senior were the officials that you think knew what was going on in terms of assassinating Kennedy?
I think it goes to the highest echelons of our government. Because 24 hours after Kennedy was killed, J. Edgar Hoover said Oswald did it. They hadn't looked at any evidence yet. How could he make that determination? Minneapolis paper, Monday morning. Kennedy's killed on Friday. Oswald's killed on Sunday at noon. Minneapolis paper, Monday morning. My mother kept it. We found it when she died. Minneapolis morning paper. That meant it had to go out early. There weren't computers then. Dallas police declare case closed. Monday morning. My son read that. He was about 14 at the time. Looked at me. You know what his quote was? My God, Dad, they spend more time on a domestic. And he was right. I said, you're right, son. What can I tell you? Monday morning, they didn't see Oswald with a gun. In fact, he tested negative in a paraffin test. He hadn't fired a weapon.
What did Oswald's wife say to you when you spent time with her?
She's very vague. She's also she protects her children, Lee's two daughters immensely. She's not going to talk much about it because they held over her the fear of deporting her back to Russia. So Marina's going to say whatever the government wants her to say. Today she's come out and said, reversed herself. And she said, in light of all the information, I don't believe my husband killed Kennedy today. But at the time they got her to say he did because they locked her up in solitary and threatened to deport her. My country does a lot of things that if people paid attention to, they wouldn't find it so wonderful. Now, do you see why mainstream media don't like Jesse Ventura?